Mr. Scheer, given everything that you have reviewed in putting together this report, are you comfortable that the SBA is prepared to meet the challenges of another major disaster on the scale of Hurricane Katrina?
I wish I could give another answer, but the answer, do I and do we feel comfortable about the question you posed? The answer is no. These are some of the reasons why. Is that there's certain parts of the requirements in the Act that haven't been met. And among them, let me just go back to the Disaster Recovery Plan from 2007. At the time it was provided to us, the administrator proposed it to us. It was a conceptual approach. And it would have to, and part of our view for its strategic planning in our recommendations to the administrator, and also in the Act itself, we think strategic planning should be a very living document. So, for example, there have been disaster simulations have occurred, yet we don't know that that's the best thing you do to simulate disasters of the size of Katrina.
Mr. Scheer,
Yes.
let's clarify that that was under the previous administrator.
Okay, yes. But now we do have, yes, from the previous administrator. Yes, thank you. In terms of the disaster simulations, like we know the disaster simulations the agency used in 2008, and they are of catastrophic disasters. Yet what we don't know, and this committee doesn't know, is what were the results of those simulations in terms of the capacity of the agency to deal with a disaster of the size of another Hurricane Katrina, nor what lessons have been learned from running those simulations. So in the absence of some evidence that the agency is in a position of responding even on a simulation type basis, causes us to answer that that question in the way we do.
Ms. Mills, I hope that you understand that we are here fulfilling our role and our duty of overseeing and making sure that things that need to be in place are in place. Hurricane Katrina was a disaster of major proportions where people lost their lives, lost their businesses. So 4 years later after that, we need to hear that the GAO feels that you have something in place where we can feel comfortable.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I very much am listening to this issue that you raised about the plan. I would like to just mention that we have actually tactically added, before Hurricane Katrina we had 880 trained staff. We now have 2,400 staff and reservists, and our reservists are ready to go across the country, any place that there is a disaster. We also used to have 366 workstations, and one of the things we took from this review that you did, which was very helpful, is we now have 2,100, from 366 to 2,100 workstations in our disaster areas of Fort Worth and surge seats in Sacramento. And we upgraded our management information system so that we can do 12,000 concurrent users. So in terms of investing in fixed infrastructure, trained people, we're in a very, very different place. We also re-engineered our loan processing system. In the middle of Katrina, it took us 85 days to process a loan. We now, in any disaster, do 14 days for homes and 18 days for business. And we are piloting some additional programs.
Chia, do you have any comments?
We acknowledge in our report that a lot of progress has been made. The types of problems in this program, many of them have been addressed, including the expansion in DCMS, greater availability of reserves, and the types of things the administrator is talking about. So we acknowledge these improvements, and the program has improved. The response to the 2008 disasters, which were much smaller than anything on the scale of Katrina, were at least somewhat positive. But we're pointing out, do we feel comfortable yet? And there's still other pieces that are related to the other provisions in the Act, and in particular, the lessons learned from having gone through simulations and other types of exercises that we think are very important to demonstrate the type of preparedness I think we're all looking for.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Gray.